Okay, keep going. I don't know. Go for it. Brian Thatcher. Today I'm going to show you something that I was like, whoa, this is really cool when I first saw it. And I feel like everybody needs to have this information. I guarantee you, you're going to get a lot of value out of what I'm about to show you right now. Okay? So, what we've come to realize is that 10% of the country does things very differently than the other 90% of the country. And what it is that I mean by that is that 10% of the country, this is what they do. They go out and they establish a solid foundation for themselves. With this foundation in place, they'll then put some money away into savings. After they've begun to establish a liquid savings for themselves, they'll then consider going out and purchasing a home. If you think about it, this makes a lot of sense. You can't buy a home if you haven't saved any money. So putting away some money into savings before purchasing a home makes a lot of sense. So then after they purchase this home, they'll then invest their money. Now, they invest their money into many different things. Now, I can't stress how many different things, whether it be mutual funds, IRAs, 401ks, real estate, the market, you name it. If it's out there, there's a very good chance that they've probably looked into it and in many cases are personally investing into them. All right, so check this out. Now, the other 90% of the country subscribes to a slightly different philosophy. All right, so what the 90% of the country is taught is this: go to school, get a really good education. This really good education should then allow you to get this great job, right? Because everybody loves their job. So then at this great job, this is when they sit down with someone from human resources who says, all right, so this is what you do. Now that you have this job, you invest into your 401k. So very simply, they invest into that 401k. At this point, this is when all of the outside noise starts coming in and people are saying, hey, doing really well for yourself, got this really great job going, investing into your 401k, so you're saving for your retirement. Now it's time to purchase a home, right? So they buy a home. After buying this home, any money that's left over usually gets put into savings. And if they're lucky, somebody might come around and explain to them about setting up a solid foundation for themselves. Now, when I first saw this, the 90%, I thought that this made a lot of sense. This is exactly what I had been taught. Go to school, get a really good education. That'll allow me to get a great job. At this job, take advantage of the 401k because at the end of the day, if they're matching, this is free money. So who doesn't want free money? After that, buy a home. I mean, at this point, let's think about it. I'm tired of paying rent, so I should probably go out and buy something. That way I can stop paying rent for something I'm never going to own. All right, so buy a home, put away some money into savings. But before this industry, I had no idea what foundation was. I literally looked at this and I said, man, what is foundation? And very simply, what we've come to realize is that that foundation is life insurance. Now, make no mistake, there are many different life insurance products on the market. But what I'm going to show you here today is one of the best life insurance policies on the market and its benefits and features. Very simply, that policy is going to be an IUL or an Index Universal Life Insurance policy. Now, go with me on this journey. I think we all can agree that the two greatest enemies of money are going to be losses and taxes. And very simply, what this policy does is it allows us to eliminate both. Let me show you how. Now, an IUL has two buckets to it. The first bucket is going to be the insurance bucket. This is what we refer to as the death benefit. We call it that because this is the money the family will receive. God forbid something should happen. So let's just say we have a woman, her name is Judy. She has a life insurance policy with a death benefit of $500,000. This is the money Judy's family will receive, God forbid something should happen to her. Now, the other bucket in an IUL is going to be the cash value bucket. This is what we refer to as the living benefit. We call it that because this is money that someone has access to while they're still living. Now, I know a lot of you are like, hold up, go back, repeat that last part, okay? So allow me to rephrase that. This is the money that Judy would have access to while she's still alive. A lot of people do not realize that there are insurance products on the market that you can have access to while you're still on this earth. And if structured properly, they can be used to retire off of. Okay? Now, at this point, Judy would just decide how much she wants to put into this product. Let's just say Judy decides to put in $250 a month. Now, a very small portion of Judy's $250 would go into the insurance. The rest of Judy's money would then go into her cash value. Now, the cash value bucket in these products has three major advantages to it. The first being that they are principally protected. So all of the savings accumulated is going to be safe. Secondly, there's very strong upside potential in these products because they track the market. And last but not least, they're tax advantage, which means that Judy would have access to her money tax free. I'm going to repeat that. Tax free. Whew. Man, that sounds good. All right. So, as I alluded to earlier, the two greatest enemies of money are going to be losses and taxes. And Judy was able to eliminate losses through the principal protection, as well as she also eliminated taxes through her ability to access her money tax free. Hold on, let's take a second. Judy, go ahead and shimmy on Uncle Sam real quick. Man, I like the sound of that. Tax free, baby. All right, so follow me back to the left side of the page at this point. So, let's just say because Judy has an IUL, now she's in the 10%, right? So, if/when Judy passes away, she's got this $500,000 in death benefit, as well as all of the savings that she's accumulated is safe through principal protection. So let me ask you a question. Now that unfortunately Judy has passed away, is all of the savings that she's accumulated throughout her life going to be safe as well? Yes. Reason being is that Judy has $500,000 in death benefit. Nobody has to worry about paying for funeral expenses or anything like that because there's $500,000 specifically designated for that. Second question, is Judy's home safe as well? Yes. Once again, the home is safe too. Realistically, with $500,000, Judy's family doesn't have to worry about trying to figure out how to pay her mortgage. Last but not least, are Judy's investments that she's accumulated over her lifetime going to be safe? Yes. Nobody has to liquidate any of her investments because there's $500,000 to pay for anything that they would have needed to liquidate them for. So by putting a foundation into place, Judy has essentially made sure that her savings is safe, her home is safe, and her investments are safe. See, what we came to realize is that when 10% of the country passes away, what their families are inheriting is good financial habits and wealth. Very simply, wealth. Now, on the other side of the coin, the 90% of America, when they pass away, Unfortunately, in many cases, there's no foundation in place. If there is, it's some sort of insufficient coverage, maybe through a job, or in some cases, none at all. Also, their investments are fluctuating in the market. So, first question I have for you: when someone passes away, can they still go to their job? Man, I hope not. I'm not trying to go to work with no dead people. Judy, you sound cool, but I don't want to work with you if you're dead. So with them dies that job as well as their ability to then fund those investments. Second question: is their home going to be safe? No. Unfortunately, what we've come to realize is that a lot of times when someone passes away, unfortunately, their home then needs to be liquidated to pay for things like funeral expenses, or if for no other reason than just inability to still be able to afford it. Let's just say Judy is now in this 90%. She passes away with no foundation in place. Judy also leaves behind a spouse. Judy's spouse would now find himself in the situation where he has to figure out how to afford this home. But unfortunately, half of the income earning potential for the home has disappeared. Unfortunately, the reality is Judy's husband is probably going to have to sell the home. Next, is someone's savings that they've accumulated throughout their life going to be safe? No. Unfortunately, just like the home, when someone in the 90% passes away, if they don't have a foundation in place, their savings then needs to be liquidated as well because there's no money to pay for things. See, what we've come to realize is that when someone in the 90% passes away, unfortunately, what they pass along is poor financial habits and debt. Now, I want you to take a moment and look at the scenario of the 90%. How familiar is this situation? Unfortunately, this is something we see way too often in this country. The unfortunate reality is that when 90% of the country passes away, what they're passing on to their loved ones is generational poverty. On the other hand, when 10% of the country passes away, if they have a foundation in place, there's a very good chance that what they're passing on is generational wealth. And very simply, what we are doing as a company is through financial education and building financial literacy within people, giving them the best opportunity to get out of the box of the 90% and transition into the 10%. So now that you've learned how to eliminate losses and taxes, I would like for you to think to yourself, is this something you'd be interested in learning more about? If so, I urge you to reach out to me. I would love to get more information in front of you. I want to thank you for your time. Have a great day.